We always say let food be your medicine, and we don't think about how it can affect our brain. So tell us some of these genius foods we should be eating.
Absolutely. So what I did was I basically combed the research, right? And I made this really actionable in terms of the foods that we can eat. I looked at the foods that research suggests have a really strong chance in terms of supplying your brain with the nutrients that it needs. And so in my book, I give you 10 genius foods, but here I've selected 3 of my favorites. So we've got dark leafy greens, extra virgin olive oil, and eggs. And so I've made like a recipe for you guys to taste. I always come with food, so
breakfast. And these look really good.
Yeah. So this is a recipe that I have in my book. These are called cheesy no cheese eggs. So basically I've scrambled up some eggs in extra virgin olive oil, which
I taste the olive oil.
Do you?
Nice.
Yeah, it's literally a staple of the Mediterranean region of the world, and Mediterranean dietary patterns are associated with bigger brains and healthier brains. So use extra virgin olive oil. It's the chief oil that I use in my house. And you scramble up some eggs. An egg yolk is literally nature's multivitamin, and especially when you consider that when an embryo is developing, the first structure to assemble is the nervous system, which includes the brain. An egg yolk literally contains everything that nature has deemed important for the brain.
You do not need to be a chef to throw some olive oil, saute some leafy greens and eggs. It's not hard to do.
And dark leafy greens, I just want to point out, research out of Rush University found that people who eat a large bowl of dark leafy greens every single day have brains that look up to 11 years younger on scans. So you want a more youthful brain, eat more greens.
So food is medicine.
Yeah, it's so important, like the research, because people will think about high blood pressure and diabetes, but they don't think about their brain health when they're making their food.
You're so right.
But just as important to getting the nutrients that your brain needs is avoiding those potentially toxic foods that could destroy your brain health. So tell us some foods that we should be avoiding, in your opinion.
So these are what I call the toxic foods, okay? We have refined processed carbohydrates. So the vast majority of breads that we're eating, you take wheat and you pulverize it into a dust, which it takes your body no effort at all to put that that sugar straight into your system. And what that does is it keeps blood sugar chronically elevated. And again, going back to insulin, 40% of Alzheimer's cases might be owed to chronically elevated insulin. What causes insulin to become elevated? Processed carbohydrates, like nothing else.
Yep.
Okay. The other toxic food, the second one, are industrial grain and seed oils. The best oil for you to use, extra virgin olive oil. The worst oils to use are corn oil, soybean oil. You want to keep those oils out of your kitchen. They're highly refined. I'm curious,
you use just olive oil. Do you ever use, so since avocado is a fruit, am I okay with avocado oil?
I'll use avocado oil, yes. What I like to say is that nature doesn't create unhealthy fats, humans do.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. Great point. And before we go away, just to explain, you know, the irony is also dark leafy greens are really good for you, but then what we'll do is we'll take highly processed dressings and then pour it all over. So think about that the next time you're making your meal. It's not just about your heart health, it's also about your brain health. Max, I admire what you're doing.
Yeah, Max.
And I know you're doing it for all the right reasons.
You've outdone yourself today.
Thanks, guys.
This was awesome. Good stuff.
Thank you so much.
And
always a pleasure.
I recommend checking out Max's book. It's called Genius Foods. And everyone in the audience is going home with a copy.